this is statistically the most unlikely Super Bowl matchup in NFL history.
Damn.
I think 4,800 to 1 odds that this matchup happened. It might be even more, but very low chance that we're going to get these two teams. Patriots going from 4 wins to now a win away from the Super Bowl. The Seahawks going from a wild card team and moving on and making a lot of risky moves. They're two tremendously built organizations, and right now for the Super Bowl matchup, the Seahawks are favored on the public, according to Polymarket, 68% to New England's 32%. So 70-30 split, essentially. You know, the sentiment is that they think Seattle was the overwhelmingly better football team.
I do think that it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. When the NFL posts everybody with the chance to go ahead and win the big game, the big trophy, and the two people up front are Sam Darnold and Drake May. I mean, you can't write it any... Like, that is some of the scariest things I've ever seen. The coincidence of that is nuts.
So Mahomes and Lamar was in the front.
Of course.
No playoffs.
We know what happened. We know what happened. We prayed for it. Nevertheless,
we didn't need to pray for it.
You have to give insane credit to both of these organizations. Yes, this is unlikely, but Seattle's defense was great, and defenses do win championships.
Yes, they do.
We did all round table at minimum say this is going to be one of the best defenses in the league. And I feel like a lot of the public slept on Seattle's defense coming in. I feel like a lot of smart people slept on their defense coming in, which made no sense to me. They were amazing last year. Why wouldn't they get better this year? As for the Patriots, this is nuts. It's crazier that the Patriots are here as opposed to Seattle. Is that nuts to say?
No,
I think it's a similar. Because just from the way we were talking, I felt
the
like
NFC is so stacked that I get what you're saying.
we had them. I think we had them like tier 3, tier 2, or bottom of tier, like something like that. Coming in, we had Rams, Eagles, Packers were in the race, Lions. Like that's who we had, you know. And then it kind of dwindled. So we had Green Bay was jumping up. Eagles were like always getting the respect. Rams were in it. Then towards like week 8, 9, you started seeing that Seattle push. With New England, I felt like it's a little different because I think like Joel, he was like, you know, easy schedule. Dell's was like, yo, they can get some wins. With Seattle, though, they had a tough schedule, like a really good schedule. And to win that division, you know, in that type of environment, number 1 seed in the NFC, which I do think the NFC is a better conference with better teams. I think it's probably the same. Like New England getting there, we didn't expect the defense to be this great in the playoffs. Seattle getting there. Honestly, if you put a blindfold on and says Matthew Stafford had this type of game, 9 times out of 10 you're saying they won. You know, so
he's
the fact
the first
that
quarterback in history to lose a game.
Like that shit, he was perfect, but Sam Darnold was also perfect. So, you know, I think both of them it's the same. You know,
yeah, I think it depends when you asked because I feel like preseason wise, both obviously would have been long shots, but Patriots still probably would have been a longer shot just because we're expecting Mahomes, Lamar, Josh, obviously. Bo, and even Burrow to like all be in the playoff mix, right? So
we gotta stop with that one.
Playoffs.
Yeah, that's so foreign to him.
To be fair, the year before was the first year where if he was healthy, he missed. So that's the only reason I say that.
Well, now too.
But now he got hurt this year. But regardless, either way, he does get hurt every year. Before the season started, it seemed like the Patriots probably had the tougher path, even though the NFC was starting to catch up. You know, you could probably even call it even, but it always felt like the AFC had the quarterbacks, the NFC had the teams. Shit, now the NFC feel like you got the quarterbacks and the teams, right? Especially you got Caleb coming up now. The Packers are looking great. But yeah, I mean,
still a little bit of a gap.
In terms of probability, it's crazy that both of these teams made it here.
I think it was all in terms of like with Seattle projecting their offense, what Clint Kubiak was going to bring. He had shown in spurts that he can be an amazing elite play caller. And Darnold showed with the Vikings that he was amazing, but people hold over the 2 meltdowns over him, and that's why they thought that he wasn't a good quarterback. But ultimately, the question was around their offense, and Clint Kubiak, the game he called this past weekend, was one of the best games. I think it's going to get him a head coaching job.
I was going to say he's getting the job
if he wants it, because the teams left remaining are not teams that I would
fire Nick right now.
You don't think that it's at least desirable to go to the Raiders? Like, I don't know if anybody's ever said, like, yo, Raiders, let's do it. Awesome.
No, because
this year, more than anything. Say it again?
Fernando Mendoza is still a question mark because he hasn't played in the NFL yet. You know, I think that like Clint Kubiak can wait a year, pull a Ben Johnson, and go to a team with a quarterback that he knows. That Raiders job could be open next year too.
You think Clint Kubiak is Ben Johnson level good?
No.
Honest question.
He can wait a
he's
year
not.
and come get the Philly job.
Ben Johnson is in a tier of his own, but Clint Kubiak, that's what he should want in a situation.
You think Ben Johnson is the closest we're going to have to a McVay?
Not the closest. I think there's other guys up and coming. I mean, I think now I'm just thinking about offensive coaches.
That's all I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Ben Johnson.
Is he the closest we're going to have to thinking that a coach can be what McVay was? Young guy, genius offensive mind, come into a franchise, change it overnight.
That is young, yes. There's no other coach that you'd want. What is Ben Johnson? He's just like, he's under 30?
That's
under 40 right
30s,
now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's in his 30s.
So.
He's the best one right now, unless Sean McVay is still 30.
He's still
like,
30s.
Yeah, late 30s or early 40s.
He's late 30s.
Outside of him, it would be Ben Johnson.
39. Just made it.
Who?
Ben Johnson.
Uh-huh.
Birthday's in May.
40.
He's about to be 40 years old. Still pretty young
Washed.
for a coach.
How old is McVay?
That's a good question.
McVay's like 36 or 7.
Which is insane.
Being younger is nuts, bro. McVay's
Like, I think-
Oh, no, he's 40. My bad.
Fat.
they're the same age.
McVay,
He turns 41 in like, or he just turned 40.
So
So
the same
McVay
McVay
age.
and Shanahan are the two best offensive coaches in the league right now.
Easily.
I think Ben
How old is
Johnson has an
Shanahan?
argument for number 3.
Gosh,
Okay. What about Sean Payton?
46.
I think he has an argument for
Yeah, we're gonna be
3 or
spoiled for a
4.
long time.
I mean, I think Sean Payton's amazing, but you can argue it, but I'll go with Sean Payton. So yeah, then I think he'd be a 4.
Okay.
Sean's an older guy.
Sean
Yes.
is older, but that guy's
Shanahan's
young
brilliant.
spirit.
46, man.
But yeah, it's an unlikely outcome that these two teams are here. I think Seattle, the public on Poly Market, I think they're correct on this one because I tend to align with it. That I do think that Seattle is a better football team, and barring a defensive shutdown again from New England, I don't know if they're going to win this game. And I think Seattle, like, they've really figured things out, man.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a great matchup, though. I think it's going to be a lot better than what people are going in thinking.
Definitely better than last year.
Should be.
Yeah,
Should be. But
Last year's belt.
I will say
Andy Reid.
they
bro.
have something that the Rams don't, and that is a shutdown one. Gonzo is going to go into this game against
It'd be
JSN,
super fun.
and at minimum, you go into the game thinking, hey, we have a guy that can play defense against him.
Yeah, that was what was so interesting about this past matchup with the Rams is they lined up JSN everywhere in the backfield,
man.
in the slot, outside as a flanker, in motion. He did everything. So Clint Kubiak has found more creative ways to make sure that he gets the football, which has been something that I feel like they struggled with like before the playoffs, but they're at a different level. You mentioned their turnaround in the offseason. I think the Russell Wilson trade is the best trade ever for their side of it. There's other ones in NFL history that are up there. You know, you think of the Cowboys, but
Sean Watson trade.
yeah, Deshaun Watson trade. What did that materialize into, though?
Yeah, true.
I think the Cowboys trade just has to be seen as the best
because
trade
it
ever.
led to a dynasty. But Seattle, from the Russell Wilson trade, they got Devon Witherspoon, Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, 3 outstanding defensive players.
What did Houston get? Will?
Did Houston get Will?
Was
No.
that the Will trade?
Well, they had to trade
They
him.
traded up.
They
Oh,
They got CJ pick 2, but that was their own pick. So they probably used the other pick to trade up to get Will.
Yeah, something like that. But Seattle has built a good chunk of their team with that trade and with just the flexibility it gave them moving on from Russell Wilson. They've had to make 2 tough quarterback decisions, and they've hit on both.
Was, you know what, never mind.
And moving off from Ryan Grubb too, that was
No,
like
Max, just
they were
question.
10-7, right? The offense wasn't great, but it wasn't like when he got fired, I was a little bit surprised.
You could have blamed it on the offensive line.
You definitely could have. And when they hired Clint Kubiak, I was like, no, I get it. That's great. Like if you
Clint,
wanna replace Ryan
we
Grubb,
were in on
yeah.
Clint when he got hired. That's
Yeah.
true.
Like that's a good move. So yeah, man, it's obviously when you get to the Super Bowl, a lot of things have to go right. You have to make a lot of right decisions. And I mean both these organizations, but specifically Seattle has done such a great
Yeah,
job.
Will Anderson, Tank Dell, Kamari Lassiter. Those are the only important ones.
I mean,
Rest
those
are
are
offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So
Lassiter and Will Anderson,
No, fire.
pretty game changing.
Yeah, fucking
Turn around
fire.
their defense.
Yeah, it's going to be fiery seeing.
Question,
Stefanski,
was
Baker
Geno
in the
really
division.
hurtful? Say it again. Like to move off Geno, was that really a gruesome move for the franchise?
It was
Gino was playing
difficult.
so good, dude.
He was playing like at a top 12-ish, 13
He was
level for
good, but
multiple
I
years.
felt like they were still what 9. I think
They're like a
9
10-win
win
team,
team. 9
9-10
win team. They
team.
made the playoffs I think one time.
The thing is, listen, we see organizations all the time looking at you, Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That stick with either coaches or quarterbacks way too long. And you can make the argument that, I don't know if it's an argument, maybe it's the truth that they got off Geno a year early because you saw what happened with the Raiders.
He was
you saw what happened with Pete Carroll.
He was older when he went there, so yeah.
Yeah, it was like 35, 36.
Like that.
So it is difficult because most organizations want to see like, listen, this is our guy. He's been giving us 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. Let's just ride it out till it's not going no more. Then we'll figure it out. But
I mean, nobody thought Geno was going to regress the way that he did.
No. He went 3 straight years of, well, he missed 2 in 2023, but he went 70% completion percentage, 65% completion percentage, 70% completion percentage, 4,200 yards, 3,600 yards in the year that he missed 2 games, 4,300 yards. 30-11 the year he won comeback player of the year. The 2 seasons ago in 2024 is when he threw 50 INTs, when he had a ton of INTs in the red zone as well.
Yeah.
They felt like a middle of the pack team. So moving off him didn't feel like, oh shit, like this is our heart and our joy. We didn't draft him, you know?
Yeah, John Snyder is the first GM in history to make a Super Bowl with the same team with completely different coaches and players on both rosters. There's not a remaining coach from that last Seahawks Super Bowl or a player.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that fucking decade ago at
He's
this
built
point.
2 Super Bowl teams. It's crazy,
He's been
man.
GM since 2010,
Fuck
I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He wins trades, man. He wins, and it's the little ones. It's like going and getting Leonard Williams.
Seattle's just quite literally never done anything.
And I remember when that happened, it was like, the Giants, that's a good deal. They got like a 2nd round pick, I think. Maybe.
It was like, wow,
Second,
why the
fourth or
Seahawks
something
going all in? Leonard
for this
Williams
interior
ain't worth
defensive
that.
30-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, man. They made the right decisions, the right moves.